Hey, hello everyone. Let us continue with today's topic. In the last class, we have stopped till portal of exit. So today we'll continue with the portal of exit of leprosy. So first of all, we shall know what is the portal of exit. Portal of exit is nothing but it is the path by which a pathogen leaves its host. So for that we call it as portal of exit. So where pathogen leaves its host, this is called as portal of exit. In case of respiratory tract, it mainly we can see nose running during sneezing. At the time of sneezing, nose run we can see. Then broken skin and ulcers of lepromatous cases. Only a small percentage, that is less than 3% of these, are viable in this. So portal of entry. Next will be portal of entry, which means how does it get enter. The portal of entry is nothing but it refers to the manner in which a pathogen enters a susceptible host. For that we call it as portal of entry, where respiratory routine, skin will be there, the broken skin we can see. This is what we call it as portal of entry. Next we shall see the mode of transmission. How does it transmits? This is called as mode of transmission. First of all, through inhalation, where we can see droplet infection. The contact will be through direct contact or through indirect contact. Direct contact. How does it spread through a direct contact means? What is a direct contact? Direct contact is nothing but where an infectious agent is transferred from a reservoir to a susceptible host by direct contact, or it can be spread through droplet spread. For that we call it as direct contact. Where in case of indirect contact, how does it spreads in the case of indirect contact is like indirect transmission refers to the transfer of an infectious agent from a reservoir to a host by suspended air particles. How does it transfer? Through a suspended air particles. So next is in uretrotransmission. Later transmission through ingestion, that is through breast milk from mother to baby. Inoculation following trauma such as tattooing, thorn. What is thorn? Thorn is nothing but those are the circular patches which we can see on the skin are called as thorn. Prick, which is nothing but pricking, looks like any injury on the skin, is called as prick. Then vaccination, roadside injury, dog bite, etc. These are the inoculation following trauma. Next, the incubation time of this disease will be starts from few weeks and lasts till 20 years. The average incubation period will be from 5 to 7 years. This is about mode of transmission. The next is classification of leprosy. The leprosy classification was first done by Ridley-Joplin classification. So, who is it? The Joplin, William Joplin, born on March 2nd, 1911, lived till 1921. He was an Italian-born British leprologist, and Ridley, D.S. Ridley, was also a leprologist. Both of them classified the leprosy as tuberculoid. We call it as TT. Borderline tuberculoid, BT. Borderline, BB. Borderline lepromatous called as BL, and lepromatous was called as LL. This is the classification of Ridley-Joplin of leprosy. The next we have is clinical classification for chemotherapy by World Health Organization. The first clinical classification was multibacillary. What is it? It called as multibacillary. So multibacillary means where 6 or more lesions we can see. Smear will be positive, more than one nerve. For this we call it as multibacillary. Next is paucibacillary. Paucibacillary, up to 5 skin lesions will be there and no or one nerve. Smear will be negative here. The next is clinical spectrum and progression. First of all, it starts from infection with Mycobacterium leprae intermediate, from intermediate to spontaneous resolutions, where 30% of will be determinate, as we can see in the slide. The next we have is indeterminate leprosy. So, it is an early stage in the evolution of leprosy where histological and immunological responses have not yet evolved completely. It is observed only in endemic areas. Where is it observed? It is observed only in the endemic areas. It is observed only in the endemic areas, especially during the surveys of the population or the school children, with 70% heal spontaneously and 30% progress to any determinate spectrum. So, in this figure, in this picture, you can see these patches starting off the disease leprosy here. 1 to 3 ill-defined hypopigmented macules ranging in the size from 1 to 5 centimeters will be there. It is commonly seen on the outer side of the extremities. So what is meant by extremity? Extremity means a limb of the body such as the arm or leg is called as extremities. So next is we can see on buttocks, buttock region of the body, face and the trunk. What is the trunk? Trunk is nothing but it is the main part of the body that contains the chest, abdomen, pelvis, back. On such kind of area, leprosy can be seen. Surface area will be smooth, sensations may be impaired, and the nerve thickening may be present. Acid-fast bacilli are not demonstrable by routine slit skin smears. What does slit skin smears means? Slit skin smears means, first of all, how do we do slit skin smear? To detect the leprosy, slit skin smears will be done. For that, we need to pinch the side tightly where the patches of leprosy has occurred. Then we'll incise this. Then the scarp will be taken and we'll collect it. We'll smear it on the slide. We'll air dry and fix it on the slide. And then we will stain it at the last. For this, we call it as slit skin smear procedure. These are tuberculoid leprosy. The term tuberculoid leprosy include plague type and macular type. So this is what we call it as plague type. The second we have is macular type. Tuberculoid leprosy is called as plague type, where it will be single or 2 or 3. Erythromatous or copperi. Dry surface then becomes hairless, raised well-defined edge with a sharp outer margin and sloping inside and tendency of central flattening. Later sensation such as touch, temp, pain, etc. Reduced and absent, feeding nerve to the patch or solitary. Peripheral nerve may be thickened. Then AFB will be negative. The lepromin will be positive. This is what we call it as macular tuberculoid leprosy. As you can see, these patches, we call it as macular tuberculoid leprosy. This is plague tuberculoid leprosy. Tuberculoid leprosy, as you can see in this pictures. This is tuberculoid leprosy, these patches. Next, we'll study about borderline leprosy. So what is the borderline leprosy? Borderline leprosy is nothing but the term borderline tuberculoid was first used by the scientists called as Waite and Rodriguez in the year 1940, originally for borderline cases near the tuberculoid end. Scientists Ridley and Joplin divided this group into 3 types, such as borderline tuberculoid, called as BT, where patients near the tuberculoid end. Borderline lepromatous, we call it as BL, the patients near the lepromatous end. At last we have mid borderline, called as BB, leprosy, which is an unstable form. So that's all for today. In the next class, we'll study about the topic borderline tuberculoid leprosy. Thank you.